Have you ever been in a perfectly fine conversation and then suddenly one tiny comment just sets you off? Your heart races. Your jaw tightens. You feel it before you even think it. That's not weakness. That's not you being dramatic. That is a tiny, almond-shaped structure deep inside your brain firing off like a smoke alarm, doing exactly what it was built to do. And once you understand how it works, you will never be able to look at an argument, a panic attack, or even just a bad mood the same way again. Here's something that will genuinely stop you for a second. Your brain processes emotional danger before it even processes language. By the time your brain figures out what someone just said to you, your body has already started reacting. That's the amygdala at work. It's your brain's built-in security system, and once you understand how it operates, you'll start to understand why you feel what you feel, why other people act the way they act, and most importantly, how to stop letting your emotions run the show. Stay with me. This one's worth it. I'm Sarah, and on this channel, we decode the real science behind why people think, feel, and act the way they do. Today we're getting into the one part of your brain that controls more of your life than you've probably ever realized, and nobody talks about it in a way that actually makes sense. Let's change that. What is the amygdala? Okay, what even is the amygdala? The amygdala, pronounced amygdalu, is a small, almond-shaped cluster of neurons sitting deep inside the temporal lobe of your brain. You actually have two of them. One on each side. And this tiny structure, seriously, smaller than your thumb, is responsible for one of the most powerful forces in your entire life. Your emotions. Specifically, it's your brain's emotional processing hub. It detects threats, triggers fear, registers anger, reads social cues, and stamps emotional weight onto your memories. That's why you flinch before you even know what scared you. That's why your stomach drops in an elevator before your brain catches up. The amygdala is fast, automatic, and incredibly powerful. And it doesn't just do one thing. The 5 roles of the amygdala in your emotional life. It plays multiple roles in your emotional life. Let's break them down one by one. Role 1, the fear detector. This is the amygdala's most famous job. When you sense danger, whether it's a car swerving at you, a shadow in a dark alley, or someone raising their voice at you, the amygdala fires instantly. It sends a signal that triggers your fight or flight response. Heart rate spikes. Muscles tighten. Adrenaline floods in. And here's the key thing, it doesn't ask permission from your thinking brain. This is called the low road of emotional processing, a concept made famous by neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux. Your amygdala takes a shortcut. It reacts before the information even reaches your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for rational thought. That's why people sometimes freeze, scream, or lash out before they've even decided to. The amygdala doesn't think. It protects. Role 2, the anger and aggression trigger. The amygdala isn't just about fear, it's deeply tied to anger too. When someone disrespects you, cuts you off in traffic, or says something that just feels unfair, the amygdala lights up. It reads those moments as social threats, just as real to your brain as a physical one. That's why arguments can feel so out of proportion. Your logical brain knows it's just words. But your amygdala? It's treating the situation like survival. This is what researchers call an amygdala hijack, a term coined by emotional intelligence expert Daniel Goleman. It's that moment when your emotions take over completely before reason has a chance to step in. Role 3, the social brain. Here's something most people never realize about the amygdala, it's not just about danger and anger. It's also deeply social. The amygdala helps you read facial expressions, body language, and the emotional signals of the people around you. It's why you can walk into a room and immediately feel that something is off before anyone says a single word. It's why you can look at someone's face and just know they're upset, even when they're telling you they're fine. Research has actually shown that people with amygdala damage struggle significantly to read emotions in others, especially fear and anger, in facial expressions. Take that away and you're not just less empathetic. You literally cannot tell whether someone is afraid or angry. Think about what that means for every relationship in your life. Role 4, the emotional memory keeper. Ever wonder why some memories feel burned into your brain while others just quietly fade away? That's the amygdala. When you experience something with strong emotional weight, terror, joy, grief, awe, the amygdala tags that memory and signals your brain to lock it in. That's why you might not remember what you had for lunch 3 Tuesdays ago, but you remember exactly where you were when something emotionally significant happened. Emotion is the amygdala's way of telling your brain, pay attention. This matters. Don't let this go. This is also why traumatic memories can feel so vivid and intrusive. The amygdala stamped them as high priority, and your nervous system keeps them on standby, just in case. Role 5, the anxiety and stress engine. You know that feeling when you're fine, nothing is actually wrong, but your body is braced like something bad is about to happen? That low-level tension. That constant background hum of what if. That's this. When the amygdala becomes overactive or hypersensitive, it starts seeing threats everywhere. Neutral situations feel dangerous. Social interactions feel overwhelming. The future feels terrifying. This is what's happening in conditions like anxiety disorders, PTSD, social anxiety, and phobias. The amygdala has been miscalibrated, running the alarm on overdrive when there's no actual fire. But here's what the research actually shows. Therapy, mindfulness, consistent emotional regulation, these don't just help you feel better in the moment. They physically change how your amygdala responds over time. The science on this is clear. Which means the way you're wired right now, it's not permanent. So here's what I really want you to take away from this. You now know something about your own brain that most people will never stop to learn. And that matters because knowledge like this doesn't just sit in your head. It shows up in the moments that count. When you feel fear, you'll recognize it's your amygdala reading a signal. And you'll know that you get to choose what you do with that signal. When you feel anger, you'll understand it might be your brain treating a social situation like a physical threat. And you'll be able to pause, breathe, and respond with intention instead of impulse. And when anxiety creeps in, when everything feels like a threat, you can gently remind yourself, I am safe. This is my brain trying to protect me. And I am in control of what I do next. That is emotional intelligence. And it starts right here with understanding what's happening inside your own head. Your emotions are not your enemy. Your amygdala is not broken. It is doing exactly what it was designed to do. And now so are you. Alright, if this gave you even one new way to see yourself, do me a quick favor and hit that like button. It genuinely helps more people find this content. If you want more videos on social psychology, the science of emotions, behavior, relationships, and how the human mind actually works, make sure you're subscribed and tap the bell so you don't miss a thing. And hey, you already know someone who needs to hear this. A friend dealing with anxiety, someone who can't stop replaying an argument, or just a person who wants to understand themselves a little better. Go ahead and send it their way. I'll see you in the next one. Take care of yourselves and your amygdala.